a friend or two. Good morning. Good morning to you. You. Good morning. Good morning to you. And many more. Good morning, and welcome to Daring Dialogues. I'm your host today, Shantae Charles. Today is going to be a very brief Get Free Friday because I've got to get packages out. I don't know about you all, but as the season really gets kicking, I like to be done with letter writing, with package sending, with gift giving, and all of those good things. If you are a part of the We Dare Squad, I am sending out your packages today. Yes. So I got a whole bag of packages that I'll be leaving pretty soon to get out. So today's going to be very brief. I want to share with you a motivation for success. And I want to talk to you a little bit about what are some things you can be doing during this holiday season to get yourself inspired. I have been working on lots of artwork. I am a educator, but I'm also a working artist. And so as the season kicks up, I have really been trying to look at my portfolio, look at my sketchbook, finish some pieces that I've started earlier in the year and had ideas for. But now will be the time for me to kind of wrap up those ideas and make sure that I get most of them out before the year is out. So I'm really excited because I did like 10 paintings in the past 2 days. Some of them are mini paintings. I'm not going to show all of them to you, but, and then a couple of them are what I call small paintings. So there's mini, which is like 4x4, 5x5, and then there is small, which runs anywhere between 5x7 to 9x12. I tend to work in a smaller, um, on a smaller canvas just because I like the manageability of it. I have done some larger canvas works, but that's not typically the way I like to do some painting. So let's start off with our motivation for success for today. It is December 6th, and we're going to see what December 6th holds for us today. The meter is running. That is the title. John Rogers, founder of Ariel Capital Management, says, "You can't build a reputation on what you're going to do tomorrow." John is on the money. Why put off today? Why put off tomorrow, as the saying says, what you can do today? So, again, this meter is running, so let's keep going. Have you ever stopped to figure the cost of the phrase, wait a minute? For example, if you earned approximately $25,000 a year, every minute you have to wait costs 5 cents. At 50,000 a year, this figure doubles to nearly 10 cents a minute. And if you earned $500,000 a year, your time would be worth more than $1 a minute. Johnson Publishing founder John H. Johnson mentioned that he regarded every hour of his day to be worth at least $1,000. Time is priceless. Indifference to the value of time is a real tragedy. Many a wasted life dates its ruin from a lost 5 minutes. Too late can be read between the lines on the tombstone of many a man or woman who has failed. A class of sixth graders have been assigned a term paper to be completed over a 2 month period. The day the project was due had finally come. The instructor, a seasoned teacher, was prepared to hear all types of excuses from those who had not been working steadily on their papers. She approached each student to collect their reports. "Where's your report?" she asked the little girl in the last row. "My dog ate it," the little girl replied through sad eyes. The teacher, who was used to this sort of thing, shot the small child a stare of disbelief. But the child insisted, "It's true. I had to force him, but he ate it." If we don't begin to put our dreams and desires into action, they will be eaten up by procrastination and inactivity. Don't waste another minute. Read the handwriting on the wall. Pursue your goals before it's too late. Say it with me today. Every minute of my time is precious. I will value this irreplaceable resource. And in that note, I want to show you some of the artwork that I have been working on for the past couple of days. Um, this particular set is a series. I'm going to call it Women in the Struggle. And I was playing around with fabric and paint on canvas. And I wanted to keep a motif going for all three paintings. Um, yeah, and then I wanted to take the motif that was on the fabric and incorporate it into the painting in another color and in another way. So this is the first one. This one, I call her the Golden Child. See, you can see that. All right. And again, this is paint on canvas. I call her the Golden Child. She kind of represents women in the struggle who are more spiritually inclined. They are full of light. They are very contemplative, and they want everyone to be hopeful and optimistic and all of those good things. All right. So this one is the Golden Child. All right. The second one in the series is called the Child of Calm. Okay. Let me bring that a little bit closer so you can see. I liken her to women of intellect, women who are, again, thoughtful, they're thinkers, they're planners, they're the organizers of the movement. Okay. All right. And then the last one, I think is probably my favorite because I don't think I've ever done a piece like this before with this color scheme. It's the same color scheme, but it's a little bit different. This one is called The Ice Cold Rage Child. And of course, these are the women in the struggle who are sick and tired of being sick and tired. They have seen some things, they have heard some things, and they're generally not putting up with the BS. These are the women who will take to the streets, who will say, what do we want? Revolution. What do we want? Change. What do we want? And when do we want it? Now. So this is the ice cold rage child. And I call her ice cold because um, she has very little sympathy for people who want to keep injustice going, right? She's sort of like, I don't have any more, tears and any more tissue to give for people who want to continue to make excuses about why things are not right and why things have not changed. So when you put these three together, and in art we call this a triptych. Let's see if I can put them all three together here. So when you put them together, I don't know if you guys can see all of them, but they will they'll hang on the wall like this. All right. I may make these prints and cards. Um, we'll see. We'll see. All right. So that's one series of paintings I decided to do. The other one last night, I was listening to Kendrick Lamar's "We Gonna Be All Right," and as I began to listen to that, this little mini painting is what came out of it. I'll hold it up here on the stand. So that's the mini painting that came out of that. Just listening to Kendrick Lamar's song "We Gonna Be All Right." All right. And I like mini paintings because they're easy, they're portable, you can gift them, you know. Um, and people don't have to worry about space. If you're an artist and you want to gift people some of your work and your paintings, try some mini canvases, right? Because sometimes we don't know what people have going on with their homes, and they just may not have the space for a larger piece. And then earlier this year, I was doing some study on um, Ghanaian symbols and Adinkra symbols. And this one is one that kind of stayed with me. It's called the Crado or the Credo, and it represents supreme authority. And so I just did this one with white, um, silver, and gray paint. It's called the Credo. And let's see, give you one more. This is a concept that I drew about 2 years ago. And last night, as I was painting, I said, let me just go ahead and get the paint concept down. So this is a smaller painting concept of what the larger painting would be. Obviously, the larger painting is going to be way more detailed than this, but I figure I would at least get the concepts down, right? So in this concept, you have the Black Power Fist. See, you guys can see that. So you have the Black Power Fist, and then you have these areas here, which is like your hand part, right? So you look at it this way, that's what it's doing. And this area here, um, I want to make this like stained, like a church stained glass look. And I'm using the colors red, yellow, and blue because those are primary colors. And primary colors make all other colors, which represents humanity. So rather than do all other colors, I just want to work with the primary colors. And then this actually came out of an open vision I had where people were standing in darkness and these two doors began to open. And as the doors began to open, you see the Christ figure in the center there. But as the light began to come into the space, this part of the hand began to light up almost like a stained glass. And um, it began to open up and provide light for the people who were there. And then there were like these these veins, and the veins were like also pathways that you could walk on to go into this space here. And so I titled this By Way of True Power because oftentimes when we get up close to something, we think it's one thing, but then when we pull back, right, we think it's one thing, but when we pull back, it's actually another. And so I wanted this to be a metaphor of what I was being shown, which is the path to true power. Sometimes we can be in the dark, but when that light comes and that light comes and shines, it brings illumination, it brings um, understanding, it brings revelation, it brings knowledge, it brings truth, all of those different things. And that truth is available for anyone who will receive light and illumination and revelation and truth. All right. So again, sometimes we as artists, we do a markup smaller version of what we want to do larger. And this is going to be a larger piece at some point. All right. So that's what I wanted to show you all today. Just some things I've been working on behind the scenes. Um, I am not one of those people that gets on live every single day to say, here's what I'm doing, and I don't do lives for 2 and 3 hours at a time while people watch me paint and all of that. If you do that, that's great. That's just not my process. I tend to be more insular and interior with my thoughts when I'm creating. And so that setup doesn't necessarily work for me at this point in my life. All right. So I hope that I have shared something with you to inspire you today. I hope that you have thought about what was said in the reading today. that time is of the essence and that we make the best use of our time. All right, I am going to turn it over to some conversation. We've got about 5 to 7 minutes before I have to head out and make sure that I get these packages off in the mail. If you would like to join the We Dare Squad for the coming year and you want to be a part of our gift giving and our quarterly packages, you can join on patreon.com/, daring dialogues. Paid subscribers do receive quarterly gifts, and we have meetings offline, and we have a small community of people who are wonderful and caring and supportive, who support each other wholeheartedly. And I would love for you to be a part of that community in the coming year. So think about it. And if you'd like to join us again, it's patreon.com/, daring dialogues is the Patreon page. Thank you so much for your time and attention. Have a wonderful weekend. If you're going to be joining us on Sunday, we will have Sunday Dialogue at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Be well, and most importantly, be light. All right.